What's going on, you guys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about landlords. Are they evil? You know, because it's interesting. I was doing a Google search this morning and I typed in the word landlord are, and then the first words that came up, evil, parasite, scumbag, all of these really nasty and derogatory terms towards landlords. So I'm going to give my response to that, and it's going to be completely different than what you probably think I'm going to say. But before I get there, I'm going to share with you kind of where property values went just over the last 25, 30 years and where they're going and how the overall economy has changed, because this is going to paint the true picture of what's going on right now in this world. So in America, a median price home was $199,000. The median income, $41,000. So essentially the home value was 4 times the price of the income, which is affordable. So 20 years later, the property value with modern day inflation should have been $299,000 with an income of $65,000. But what happened? The median price point of a home is $377,000 with an income of $61,000. So property values increased 26% higher than they should have, and wages fell by 5%. So let's look back at 20 years ago, or even 25, 30 years ago. Mainly a lot of these jobs, a lot of our parents and the generation before them, they were going to trade schools, they were starting their own business. It was easier to start a business. It was easier to kind of make money. Now, if you want to have big ambitions in America, most of us have to climb into a huge trap of student loan debt. And what happens with that debt? It ends up crippling everyone to buy property. So the cost of college education since 1988 has tripled. College textbooks have tripled, but yet non-academic textbooks remain the same. The price points remain the same. So you factor all this stuff in, we're at a $1.5 trillion in student loan debt right now. And that number is just growing every single day. All these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that want to kind of get ahead and set their lives up end up realizing at 25, hey, I'm at $150,000 in debt and my payments are $1,200 a month. With my payments and my new income and a car, gas, food, insurance, clothes, I can't afford to live anywhere. And they end up fighting to get out of that trap from that age till probably 40 or 45 years old, because it takes on average 21 and a half years to pay back student loan debt. So what ends up happening then? They're house poor. Essentially they're house poor, they're renting, and they're really pissed off. They're blaming the system, as they should, because the system was designed 25, 30 years ago for kind of like the working class people. Now, if you look at the system, the entrepreneurs of our day, people that are they have big ambitions, they want to start their own company, they're getting crushed. They're getting absolutely crushed. They're getting sued and out the wazoo for no reason. There's attorneys out there that will literally sue you for anything, even if it never happened, just hoping to get a settlement. And they'll represent that party for free, and they'll just get a little percentage of the actual lawsuit. I have a friend that's happening to right now, and he has a worker that worked with him for many years, and they became really good friends. And this worker didn't show up a couple times, my friend fired him, and then the worker came back and said, oh, I didn't get my full lunch break. He's suing him. He's already $50,000 in the hole in legal fees. That's ridiculous. He's a small guy, small company, and $50K he has to pay out of legal fees, and he hasn't even settled it yet. And that's not a rare circumstance. And that's why you're seeing also a lot of companies taking their business and going overseas. Morgan Stanley saving $2 billion this year just taking jobs overseas. Microsoft was going to open up a plant in Wisconsin, decided against it last second. They closed it down. Verizon just had 36,000 employees go on strike because of all of the labor that they're sending to the Philippines. Because they can open call centers in the Philippines and they're paying employees $1.78 an hour. There's no unions. There's not a ton of attorneys trying to sue like there are here. And same thing with Apple, same thing with all the big companies. And in addition to all of that, you have all of the talent that is now available for these great companies to hire. 30 years ago, it was mainly Americans fighting over American jobs. Now you have people in India and Singapore, China. People are so smart, so focused, studying 10, 15 hours a day, studying math and science, studying the things that actually really matter, that really kind of translate with the high-paying jobs. And now we're trying to compete with them for almost less money. So you have a lot of these great companies that are aware of this. So that being said, the property values are only going to increase and the renter is only going to get poorer and poorer because they're not making the same amount of money that they used to. And that's going to continue to grow, I promise you. So I think that the best way for everyone to look at this is not pointing the finger at the landlord, it's pointing the finger at the system. The whole system is broken. It is what it is. So you need to kind of think 50 years out, think long term about how much money you actually need to make to kind of set yourself up. So from the ages of 60 to 90, just to kind of put that retirement window in, because I think relying on Social Security is a scary, scary thing to do. Or even like a 401k, relying on something outside of your control is a little scary. So between 60 and 90, let's say your overall monthly expense is $5,000, which is cheap. I mean, unless you are 59 and a half today, but odds are you're probably 20 or 30 or 35 or something like that. So if you're thinking 20, 30 years out, $5,000 a month is nothing. Factor in rent, probably $3,000 to $3,500 at least, probably closer to $4,000. Health insurance is probably costing $1,000. Cell phone bill, car insurance, food, clothing, you name it. Medical deductibles, you're way over $5,000. But let's just say it's $5,000. $5,000 is $60,000 a year. 5,000 times 12 months a year, $60K. From 60 to 90, that's $1.8 million in cash. That's sitting in your account. So if you're making $250 a year now and you're tucking away a lot every single year, you're still not going to have that money. The only way to have that money is rental property, point blank. And the reason being is because it is a beautiful tax structure that allows you to kind of leverage the money you already have. So let me explain. So if you are sitting on $20,000 in cash right now, you can go buy a property potentially for $100,000. So you put 20% down. So now you're controlling 5 times your cash value in a property. And in this property, you have a ton of tax write-offs that you can write off against your income. You can write off the mortgage interest, which is a good chunk of your payment. You can write off property taxes, repairs. You can write off property management. There's so many different write-offs that you can associate with this property. Whereas the tenant, what happens is that every single year, they lose 2% of their dollar in inflation. 2%, which is a lot. And the cost of rent goes up 3%. So every year, the tenant's getting poorer and poorer by 5%. That's just the facts. So I think you're better off buying a triplex or a fourplex, one of these smaller deals, because they're still classified as a residential purchase, so you can buy them with less money down. And what you end up doing, if you're 30 now, you buy it. By the time you're 60, that property is fully paid off. If your ambition is only to own one property, the whole property is paid off. Odds are the rents, say it's a 4-unit, odds are the rents are maybe $1,000 or $1,200 now. By then, it's probably $2,000 or $2,500 each, which could be an asset that could produce $7,000 or $8,000 a month in income for you forever if you lived in one of those units. So that's where you want to be. You want to be in rental property. And that's kind of a part of the reason why I'm doing the rental property giveaway, is because I know deep down a lot of people would love to own a rental property. They just don't think it's possible. But it is possible. You can definitely do it. And that's what you're going to learn here on this channel. You're going to learn about real estate. You're going to learn about business. You're going to learn about investing, because I know it will change your entire life. So when we hit 250,000 subscribers, we're going to give away that rental property. I'm going to be releasing a video shortly about all of the details, all the terms, everything about the rental property giveaway. And my real goal here, I'm going to get 250,000 people, like-minded people, on one channel where we all work together and discuss rental property, discuss getting ahead, making moves, and I think a lot of great is going to come from it. I think that a lot of people are going to buy rental property because of it, and the people that buy rental property, the people that watch those people are going to benefit. It's going to just grow, and it's going to just be, I think, just something beautiful. And to having really said that I was a part of that, or I helped these people do that, I think there's nothing greater that I could possibly do with my life. So I'm really, really passionate about rental property. It's not the landlord that's a bad person, though. It's overall, it's the system. The system's kind of set everybody up to fail, and that's just the reality of it. But please like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.